Quick AD break before you continue watching. Hey you! Are you looking for some cute aesthetic merch?
Moved into a new house, and I thought a good housewarming gift would be to organize and completely deck out her pantry. So we started by taking everything out of her pantry, and she had a lot of stuff in there. And then the next step was to just wipe down all the shelves and then start prepping all of the containers. So what makes a nice aesthetic organized pantry is the baskets, the bins, things like that. So I bought her a whole bunch of stuff from the Container Store, Target, places like that, and just started placing them to get an idea of how I wanted everything to go, using sticky notes to get an idea of what might go inside each container. Then of course you have to remove all the labels and stickers, wash everything out that's going to have, loose food in it. I had a nice little helper helping me dry everything. And then from there we were able to actually fill up the containers with all of her loose items like quinoa and lentils and rice. And she also had a whole bunch of seasonings, which I repotted into these cute little glass jars. We put custom labels on all of the jars with a font of her choosing, using the Cricut machine, and we just used a funnel to put all the spices into each jar. This just looks so much better than having a bunch of random plastic mismatched containers. Some people think that this is just useless, but to me, it makes a world of a difference. I mean, just look at how nice this looks, and you can buy your spices in bulk to refill them, which is better anyway. And I just went ahead and put them on these stainless steel turntables so that they would be easily accessible, and also just started placing all the rest of the filled jars into her pantry, just paying attention to how I'm grouping everything together by category. Things that make more sense to stay in their original packaging, like snacks, can go in a basket just so it looks nicer. You can put vegetables in a wire basket to keep them grouped together. And then for things like baking powder and baking soda, we created little plastic airtight containers. That way the stuff can actually stay fresher, because the original containers that they come in a lot of times don't close on their own. So basically anything that did not come in a resealable container, we put into a nice labeled resealable container. And it's nice that they're clear so you can see exactly how much you have. So not only do all these containers, labels, and baskets look super cute, but they actually help to keep things organized so you can see what you have. They keep things more fresh so you're not wasting food. It really does serve a functional purpose, and it just is a plus that it looks so much cuter. And I will have all of the containers and stuff that I used linked in my bio.
Ready to see your new pantry? You ready? Dun, 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 dun.
Wow, Bella, look how nice. Look at all mommy's spices.
I'm a professional organizer, and here's how I maximize space in this small pantry. First step is to take everything out and place them into categories. Normally I'd be tossing out expired food, but my client did that for me ahead of time. To make more space, we decided to move all the alcohol to the bar and the vases into the garage. Next, it's time to plan the space. Start placing food back into the pantry where you would like them to go. I decided to move canned foods up one shelf, baking is top shelf, snacks and dinner in the middle, and kids on the bottom, and chips back to the floor. Next, I write down measurements in my notes app, decide what type of containers I need, and count exactly how many of each type of container I need. Then it's off to my favorite place, the Container Store. I already have my list. The only decisions to make are based on style. My client's preference was for the floor baskets to match tile and no white. This was a 3-cart trip for a total of $1,500. The first thing I do when I get back is wash out all the food containers, disinfect baskets and bins, and remove labels. Peeling labels can be very tedious, so I like to use my Cricut tool to help. This process alone took about 2 hours to complete. These are the baskets I chose for the chips on the floor. These are for the dinner and snack shelves, and these are for baking and treats on the top shelf. The corners of this pantry are really tight, so it made the most sense to use Lazy Susans and store sauces and condiments on them. I love using Home Edit all-purpose bins with inserts for kids' snacks. The inserts prevent snacks from falling over and keep everything categorized, which is super helpful for the little hands in your pantry. Once the food containers are completely dry, it's time to start filling them. Pro tip, keep the original package next to the container until they're labeled so that you don't forget what is in them. I use the P-Touch label maker to make custom labels. My client requested black labels with white writing. The last and final step is to place everything in the pantry and make adjustments if needed. And here are the final results. I love how it turned out and the family was so happy with it too. This transformation took 10 hours, but it never feels like work when you love what you do. Okay, so I just took everything out of the shelves and these storage containers were drying overnight because we are finally going to organize the top shelves for dry goods. Starting off with the tallest, adding in spaghetti, sticking on a label, next we're adding rigatoni, next is panko, and the next jar are some rolled oats, okay, so before I do the rest, I want to lay out where I'm going to put everything on this shelf. So I'm thinking we'll put the pasta in the back alongside the spaghetti, and next is the panko and the oatmeal. Okay, I still have a lot more, so we'll get to the next part in part 4.